crap.
Oh, can you clear coat single stage? How does that work? How do you do it? How does it look?
The whole ideology behind putting clear coat on top of single stage is clear coat does not shrink back into single stage.
Scientific minds we have today.
We're at Speedokote Refinish Network. All right, guys, got a big project Miata. I don't even know if I've ever even had a Miata on this YouTube page. It's crazy to think that because I've actually owned like 7 of these. This isn't just any Miata. It is a monster Miata. This popular thing guys did back in the early 2000s, and still kind of popular now, but kind of fading out because of the LS swap the world trend. The trend before LS swaps was putting massive 5.0 Mustang engines in Miatas. However, as you guys can see, good engine transmission combination for this car, power to weight ratio, awesome. However, the car is ugly. Chipping paint everywhere. I mean, it is just plastered with chipping paint. We got some body work, that was done previously, which looks good. I mean, the patch panels look okay. It's not gonna look perfect, put a little Bondo over it, smooth it out, done. Getting done, redone white. So it's gonna be, it's not like even, and all that body work is down low, so it's not like it has to be like perfect, Overall, it's just got, some dents, some scratches. We're just gonna go ahead and sand down the whole thing, do a little mild body work, and go ahead and repaint the whole car from the top down. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this thing. I will catch you guys on the prep side. Oh! Ain't no way. I just took out a lot of prep work. Oh my gosh. Alright, so we're getting straight into the prep work. We decided that it was much easier to go ahead and just pressure wash off the flaking paint. And that is usually the fastest way to get off excessive flaking paint if there is an adhesion issue between the base coat and the primer, which is exactly what this was. So we're just pressure washing away, and then as you guys can see in this clip here, we got most of the car sanded down. We got a couple dents fixed. We're just going ahead and continuing to smooth out this mess. It was a lot. We got a couple welds we're cleaning up. We're just going to go ahead and sand that metal before putting the body filler over it. Now, I know what a lot of people are going to say, oh, you're supposed to etch prime before putting down body filler. I understand that, and it's definitely, what you 100% the correct process, but, some fillers out there, the manufacturer does specifically say that you can put it directly over bare metal, and it will last forever. So yeah, it's some body fillers. It's safe if you spend a good amount of money on a quality body filler. Guys, it is in most cases okay to put it over bare metal. However, like I said, it is truly the best way to put it over your body filler over a acid etch or like an etching primer, some type of primer that's made to soak into bare metal. Now, as you can see, we're cutting down the body filler with our Speedokote 80 grit sandpaper. As you guys can see, this stuff cuts lightning fast. I just gave this, a quick block just to show you guys as a demonstration how quickly it can flatten. We are going to use some self-etching primer in the process of this repair on this car. There was just too many large bare metal spots showing for me to go ahead and consider just going ahead and blasting through the process and doing a 2K primer filler. Normally on most budget jobs, that's really what I would do. But we just had too many really large areas for me to feel comfortable with doing a 2K primer filler over, all the body work and the metal and everything like that. So we went ahead, we got the Speedokote self-etching primer out. As you guys can see, this whole trunk was pretty much bare metal, so well justified. However, a self-etching primer is always going to add time, labor, and money to the process of doing a restoration. That's why you don't see this stuff getting whipped out very often on budget jobs. Then we're going to go ahead, we're going to put our 2K primer filler from Speedokote over top of that. That's enough for a spit and wipe.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. How about this Bondo spot right here?
Sure. Some Baja Blast slushy. Yep, that works. Okay.
Oh my god! Oh!
Overboard on that one.
Hey, a little more. Clean a car before a paint, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice and clean.
Nice clean. Ready for spray.
Ready for spray.
Cameraman, he's got a sandwich in hand. Yep. Never fear, Ben is here. I don't see no fish eyes.
I know what's wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with it.
Ain't no Baja Blast in it.
Looks good to me. We decided to go with a cool slushy of Baja Blast for our spit and wipe for some of our primer spots. And this just helps, guys, like I said, with adhesion. You're going to get that sticky, sugary type of texture on the panel. It's going to help your primer stick better, especially over your big body filler spots, and that's why we did that. Moving on to the paint. So now we got the Speedokote Bright White High Gloss Single Stage. But before we go and spray that on the car, we had a couple minor bare metal spots that I forgot to get. No fear, Speedokote is here. We got the self-etching primer in a can for any last-minute touch-ups that you guys may have. Small to medium-sized areas, this spray can self-etching primer is great. Is it as good as a two-part self-etching primer sprayed out of a gun? No, but great for little last-minute touch-ups. We're starting to spray on the Speedokote High Gloss Single Stage Bright White, and I gotta say, this paint, I will say, is probably one of my favorite paints from Speedokote. It comes pre-mixed. It is extremely easy to spray. It can be a little bit finicky at times depending on the weather. If you're spraying it in extremely hot temperatures, you definitely want to grab the slow activator and maybe even splash about 2 to 5% of the Speedokote X Slow, not the slow, the X Slow reducer in there to kind of slow her down a little more than slow. And I've done that with single stage in the past. You splash a little bit of reducer of a different speed just to try and manipulate the paint to make it do what you want it to do. This is kind of like, I don't know, backyard redneck technology. I mean, I don't know a whole lot of, professional painters that are doing that kind of stuff. They kind of just, follow the manufacturer recommendations, which is fine. I get it. But this is kind of the backyard, DIY kind of way, just kind of mixing stuff up and going as you go. You should always follow manufacturer recommendations when it comes to all paint products. However, if you're noticing something isn't working and you tweak it a little bit and it works for you, go with that. Go with your gut. Go with what works for you. Just because a manufacturer makes a product that is in a controlled spray booth and they say, well, this is how we do it. Okay, well, that's great. There's manufacturers out there to do that. That's fine. But they're not spraying in a uncontrolled environment with the weather and humidity and all this other stuff. So bottom line, do what you need to do to get your car looking as best as you can. If you want to add a little bit of slow reducer, fast reducer, you want to mix fast reducer with slow activator, and it makes your car look great, do it. We're going ahead, we're walking the gun all the way up and down the car to get the most consistent results. I will say we did get a little bit of texture in the car because we only had medium activator available. Now remember, guys, choosing the wrong speed activator or the wrong speed reducer if you are using base clear can ruin a paint job and or limit the results. Now, because I am a professional painter slash whatever you guys want to call me, pro DIY, pro painter, whatever you guys want to call me, I was able to mitigate the results we got with the medium, and I was able to get a pretty good finish, just with the medium. It had a little texture in it. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put some clear coat over top to try and basically clean this job up. I went ahead, I kind of argued in my head with myself for 10 minutes, like, man, should I clear coat it? Should I just put on a third coat of single stage and buff it, or, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. For you guys, for my fans, my followers, my subscribers, I was like, you know what? They've been asking for this video for a while. I'm going to give it to them. So out came the SMR 42. We are also walking the clear coat up and down the car. Why? It's going to create the most consistent texture, the most consistent finish without getting runs, without getting sags. If you guys ever watch a robot paint a car, you guys are going to notice that robot is going to go from one end of the car all the way to the other. So it's going to go all the way from the trunk quarter panel all the way to the front of the car in one fluent motion without stopping in between the panels. Okay? This is what's going to create the most smoothest, most even paint job without getting runs, without getting sags and everything like that. Or at the very bare minimum, at least try and eliminate those issues as much as possible. There's a couple exceptions to this rule. Obviously, if your paint is drying just way too quick, it's a really hot day, and you really just kind of want to simplify things and focus on wetting down each panel at a time, yeah, you can panel paint. Or, if you work in a collision shop and, you kind of just really basically are a panel painter, you really don't have to ever master walking a gun up and down a car when you're really only spraying a couple panels at a time. However, if you're spraying full cars, full body paint jobs, and you're trying to keep everything as wet as possible, as consistent as possible, and keep the texture as consistent as possible, this is going to be the absolute best method, in my opinion, from my experience, and obviously many other painters out there as far as how to spray your car. Now, one thing you guys are going to notice as we continue to spray the SMR 42 over the high gloss bright white single stage, take a look at that trunk, okay, and take a look at how glossy and how that is just really clearing up. Now, obviously, as you guys see, yeah, the bodywork's still a little bit wavy, right? Got it. But check out how much more gloss and reflection we are getting out of that trunk panel after we put on the SMR 42. Okay, so this really was a savior to our paint job. I mean, it still would have looked good regardless whether I put a third coat on of single stage or whatever, but this definitely was the cherry on the top when it comes to this.
He's one of the best scientific minds we have today.
There you guys have it. The most infamous question I get every single day on my YouTube page.
Oh, can you clear coat single stage? How does that work? How do you do it? How does it look?
Bang, boom, boom, bang. There you have it. Okay, there's how it looks. This, I will say, is not a perfect example. You guys could probably get better results than I did if you had the right speed activator. We did not have the right speed activator for the single stage. It was way too hot, and I only had medium. This created a little bit of a texture in the single stage. No matter how wet I tried to pound that crap on, it was just not laying out 100% flat. Now, because I have a little bit of application experience and I was able to manipulate the paint a little bit, I was able to get the single stage to smooth out. Even spraying a medium speed activator with like freaking 90-degree temps, I was able to manipulate it just enough to get it to lay flat enough to where we could put the SMR 42 over top of it and kind of hide and camouflage that texture. As you guys know, with the SMR 42, you can bury just about anything with that clear. You can bury flake, you can bury racing stripes. This is one of our best high solids clears we offer outside of the SMR 32, which is another good, really high solids clear that we sell. One thing I like about the SMR 42 with the fast activator is it still dries slow enough in the summertime to where you get a nice gloss and flow, but it also dries fast enough to where you can pile on 2, 3, 4 coats of clear and you almost never have to worry about runs. It's like the perfect clear. Like, it doesn't dry too fast, but it doesn't dry too slow. This, for a Dumbo job, is a superior paint job. Look at that, guys. I mean, I'm not going to say it doesn't have texture. It does have texture in it. But, you know, and the bodywork is subpar. I mean, we had to fix like over 30 dents in this car. But for what budget we were working with and what, you know, we put into it, this car never got block sanded. The bodywork never got blocked. The primer never got blocked. Everything was done with a machine sander. That was it. Absolutely no blocking. And for no block sanding at all, I mean, this thing looks pretty phenomenal. You can definitely still see it's still got a couple little waves in it, a couple little, you know, you see the hood, you know, I mean, but we were told to get this thing, you know, 90-something%. You know, get it all one color, get it smooth and shiny. And this was the smooth and shiny special. If you're going to do clear coat on top of single stage, you need to make sure, number one, that the brands match. Okay, that's a big thing. You don't want to go putting different this Bozo, Jimmy Bob's single stage, and then you put Speedokote on top, and then you have a reaction. And the other thing is, there's a sweet spot when it comes to putting clear coat on top of a single stage. The really true correct way is to let the single stage dry, and then you cut it down. You put like 4 coats on. You block sand that down, okay? Get it real flat, and then you put your clear coat on top of that. Base coat, clear coat, the clear coat is made to absorb into the base coat. That is not the case with single stage. So the whole, and guys, this is really old school, like kind of, you know, painting. The whole ideology behind putting clear coat on top of single stage is clear coat does not shrink back into single stage. So how it looks right now is exactly how it will look a year from now. Why? Because base coat, clear coat, over a year time, doesn't matter how many coats clear you do, you will get a amount of shrink back where the clear coat will actually suck back into the base coat over a period of sun exposure, blah, 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 blah. It will begin to look different. You will get haziness. You will get a little bit of texture that maybe was left over in your base coat that, you know, you tried to pile a bunch of clear over top of it. You know, sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Base coat, clear coat, if you paint enough cars, you will understand that over a year period of time of weather exposure, sun exposure, UV exposure, that paint job is not going to look the same as it did a year ago when you first sprayed it. This will not change how it looks. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I've owned Dong Yang over there. Right there. I've owned that car for 2 years. Okay? 2 years. Baking in that hot garage over there. Okay? Summer after summer. Actually, almost 3 years now. It looks the same exact way as when I first sprayed it. Bottom line, if you're looking for a show quality paint job, this is the superior way to paint your car. I would only recommend this for like solid colors like whites, blacks, reds. Once you get into the metallics and you try single stage metallic, it can get really hard. If you can nail it, you can really knock it out of the park and get your single stage metallic on the right. Dude, single stage, put clear coat over top of it. If you're looking for the absolute best quality, most glossiest finish, I will say, I've done this a couple times, and every time I've done it, the results I've gotten have been pretty awesome. And keep something in mind, guys, this is only 2 coats of SMR 42, okay? Imagine if I did like 4 coats, which I've done 5 coats of SMR 42 before on a certain project, and I did 5 coats of SMR 32 before on a certain project. If I would have really sat in here, for hours on end, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna bury this thing till the cows come home. I'm gonna bury like 4, 5, 6 coats of clear on this thing. Guys, this thing would look even better than what it does now. But that wraps it up. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope I answered all of your questions. I get this question all the time. Miko, can you tell me, can you put clear coat on top of it? Yes, you can. But guys, the thing is with single stage, you don't have to. It is optional. As you guys saw before I put the clear coat on it, it still looked reasonably well. I mean, I could have put a 3rd coat of single stage on it. It probably would have been passable. We probably could have ran a buffer over it, just put a little shine on it, and send it on down the road, as I like to say. So single stage is designed to be a single component, single stage, one stage, single component. It is designed to be a single component paint system. It is a superior paint system, which I think automotive manufacturers should honestly go back to, but that's just my opinion. You do not need clear coat on it. However, if you want to put the pizzazz on it, okay, buy Speedokote Clear, SMR 42, or the 32, or the SS 1200 Glamour Clear. Have at it. Have at it. Have a ball. But anyways, that wraps up for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As usual, if you guys are looking for the best, most user-friendly auto body and detail products in the world, there's only one place you need to go. That is www.speedokote.com. They have everything start to finish that you guys need to get your projects done. Catch you guys on the next one.